The Body Remover, The Devil's Door, a Jeremy Gunn thriller, Book 2, written by Olin, read by Scott MacDonald. Dedicated to a Green Beret named Heddick. I'll never forget what you taught me. Ranger Class 798. Forever a learning block in life. Let's play. You know you used to be one of us. You say that every time we play. How dull. I find it strange is all. Michael, Gabriel, George all have defeated you in your various forms, and yet here you sit, as powerful as ever. Not all powerful, but enough for now. They peered at existence, pawns scattered about, like ants in tunnels, burrowing, burying, breaking. So many grains of sand to topple over, so much creation to sweep away. That's not how we play, Lucifer. Indeed not, Malachi. Quite right. And yet I revel in their potential destruction, a goal which you will never achieve. And yet here I sit, and here we play. Marshall McGurk, August 2nd, 2022. Prologue. It's what he does with the secret. That is the story. His name is Jeremy Gunn. But that doesn't really matter. What matters is what he does, and what he will do matters the most. It's that simple. He is the body remover. He comes for you when you die. But his gift isn't that. No, not at all. His gift is taking your secret like a thief in the night. You know the secret, the one you've never told a soul. That secret you never would let go of. That is, until he arrived. Then you spit it out like human ash thrown into the wind. You let it go, and now he has it. But the story isn't about him knowing your death secret. No. It's what he does with that secret. That is the story. Jeremy learned at a young age that he had a gift. When his father died, he stroked his hair and kissed him farewell. That's when his mind showed him the visions for the first time. That's when he learned that the dead could talk to him. That's when he learned that his father's most guarded secret was about him. On that rain-soaked night, Jeremy learned what he really was and where he came from. Chapter 1. Let it begin. I'll never do it, the nun said as she walked off, each step clacking an echo through the corridor. She held her rosaries, twisting each one as her white veil and long black habit waved like a flag with her movements. The old English Tudor-style door flexed from the pounding as the rusted, age-worn lock bounced against the wood. The hasp was secured, bolted into the frame, with a steel lever dead center of the door, which worked as a secondary lock, securing the arms across the outside of the archaic door. "Open the gate!" a dark voice screamed from behind the ancient door. Its tone was vile and sent cold chills down the nun's spine. "I'll eat your soul, sister! Open the fucking gate!" The morning produced a balmy and sticky heat, common in the south, but uncommon for Mecklenburg. A slight breeze was in the air, but even that was warm on Sister Isabel Marshall's elderly and weathered face. She was nearing 90 years old, and lately everything seemed to bother her. Her hands swelled and hurt more than usual. Her pacing had slowed down, become labored. But nevertheless, Sister Isabel woke up every day, awakening the children of the church, feeding and teaching them, and, moreover, spending her days tending to the old oak door, sealing off the church from what lay within the basement. "Hurry along, children. It's class time," Sister Isabel said, as Father Jason walked up, adjusting his sleeves. His cassock was long, black, and fit snug to his body. His clerical collar was a brilliant white on this particular day, obviously new, never before worn, as a sign of a new day. "Sister, could you please tend to the workers this morning?" Father Jason asked, as he wiped sweat from his brow with his usual small white cloth he kept secured inside his back pocket. Already Sister Isabel was beginning to shake from the humidity, and she still was inside. "I can do that, Father." She started to move toward the door, but Father Jason interjected. "Sister, are you okay?" She swayed noticeably. "I'm fine, but thank you for asking, Father. I'm afraid I'm just getting old." Sister Isabel turned again to the door. "Sister, please stop. I'm so sorry. I'll find someone else to tend to the workers. Please, take a load off and relax." He stared at her aged and drab face, noticing her normally pale cheeks were now gray and her eyes sunken, incredibly dark. "How about I send Sister Catherine to look after you in your room?" "That would be fine, Father," Sister Isabel replied softly, touching his hand as she turned away and lumbered slowly down the hall. Her touch had been cold and clammy, giving Father Jason additional concern. "I'm so weak today," Sister Isabel thought. "It's almost time." She felt her body giving out, and knew her time on earth was rapidly expiring. But before she went, she had to make sure the door was still secure. She shuffled her feet, step after slow step, down the hall and around the corner as she took time, for the last time, to admire the paintings adorning the wallpapered walls. She was near her room, in the newest part of the church, where most of the nuns now lived. She could see her room at the end of the hall, but knew she wasn't going to make it. To her left was a silver door leading to the lower-level ground floor, just before the basement. She peered at the door, knowing what the future held as her eyes glimpsed her ghastly reflection within the small view window above the handle. It opened easily in her old hands, with a warm breeze flowing from the stairwell. She glanced back to the end of the hallway, toward her room, knowing it was time. Sister Isabel caught her breath and slowly stumbled down the stairs. Her heart raced as she balanced herself, stepping down the last stair, landing against the wall. She had one final task to complete before the end, before she walked with the angels. God had chosen her decades ago to keep the gate, and she took that job to heart. She had never failed in her job, and before her life evaporated, she had to guarantee the gate was secure just one last time. At the bottom of the stairs, Sister Isabel leaned against the wall, seeing two doors in front of her. Both doors were just like the one at the top of the stairs, but her eyes were now losing focus as the walls narrowed within her vision. She took a deep breath and pushed the silver metal door open, but this time the effort felt monumental. It was like pushing a dead car into a parking lot. She used her shoulder and gasped when the door finally opened enough for her to slide through. To the old nun, it had been nearly impossible, but opened in the final moment's effort. Now she was on the ground floor, face to face with the old English Tudor door that sealed off the basement. She reached out, checking the levers and lock, confirming the gateway was indeed secure. A small white paper slid under the door from the unseen side. It was torn, faded, and charred around the edges. Sister Isabel's eyes focused on the note as she collapsed to her knees, rosaries in hand, and the word of God whispering from her lips. Her heart stopped before she could pick up the note. Like a light switch, the nun's body shut down, collapsing against the old door, coming to a final rest on the cool concrete floor as her soul left her body. Sister Isabel lay dead on the floor, next to the note that read, "I want the boy. Give him to me."